a part of it for the baby. I guess the whole thing.
Yeah.
Put it back on, remove a part for the baby, puree, put it all back in this pot, season it, and it's done. So it's a really easy, inexpensive soup, but it's got a really great rich taste, especially with the veal stock that we've added.
All right, I am going to be making the cream pots. So I have here, this is a cup of heavy whipping cream mixed with 3/4 of a cup vitamin D milk or whole milk. And I happen to be using organic products here just because I feel that with milk and dairy and even meat sometimes, it's just a little bit safer. I don't like antibiotics in my foods.
You
And
don't have to think about it.
you just don't even have to think about it.
Organic,
So again, I might have spent a little bit more on the organic, but it was worthwhile, and I don't use a ton of it.
Right.
And you just be very careful, and I choose what I spend my money on. Here, when I make the pâte de crème, I'm gonna start off in here, and I'm just gonna put this over kind of a medium-low heat in a pot. Just pouring the cream in. I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt to this because it helps bring out the flavors. Now, of course, you don't want your dessert tasting salty, so just be very sparing with that. I'm gonna add just a small teaspoon of vanilla. And this is extract, vanilla extract, not the flavoring. It tastes totally different. All right, and also I have here a cup of pure Connecticut local maple syrup. And it doesn't have to be dark amber for this, but it has to have a nice rich flavor. And there's, what I didn't know about this, about maple syrup, is that there's all these different grades to it.
Yeah.
And it's almost like its own specialty. So when we were at the farmer's market, I forgot, but next time I'm gonna ask what the difference is between all the...
Some are just for cooking.
Right.
Some are for, waffles, pancakes. They really are completely different. And while you're doing that, my stuffing is ready for its vegetables. These are the onions and the celery. I just sauteed them in a little bit of butter. We have some sage, some thyme, and some parsley. About a tablespoon of each. And last but not least, our veal stock. And then I'll mix all that together. I'm going to cover it with some foil, put it in an oven on 350 for a half an hour. And then I'm going to take the foil off to allow the top to brown a little bit and allow it to cook instead of it with the foil on it steaming. And then when I take the foil off, it's going to sort of more brown and kind of get crusty at the end for about 10 minutes, and then it's done. Oh, I forgot one ingredient. It's not done. Eggs. 2 eggs.
Oh, eggs. Need the eggs. Gotta have your eggs.
Now, normally a person would switch these up, but
That's all right. I mean, listen, everybody has these
to
things.
go together. A little pepper on top. Probably a half a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna mix that in. And that's it.
Okay, in my little bowl here, we'll just recap a little bit. In here I have, on low heat simmering, is a cup of heavy cream, 3/4 of a cup of vitamin D or whole milk. I have my cup of whole maple syrup and a little bit of vanilla. And we're gonna be baking a custard. So I'm taking 7 egg yolks that I've cracked, and I'm just mixing them up here. And I have a little cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg that I've added in. Now here's the tricky part. So we're gonna be putting a little bit of the warm or a hot concoction, a hot milk mix into, thank you, into the eggs. So we don't wanna curdle the eggs, we don't wanna cook them. So when we put the eggs back in, we have to have them tempered. That's a technical term, but you temper the eggs to make sure that they don't cook when you put them back in and they don't get all lumpy. So I'm gonna take a little bit of here. And I'm challenging myself by using a small bowl. It's not necessary. You're supposed to whisk it in, mix it in. Okay, I can take this off the heat now. So now when we whisk it back into the milk mixture, the eggs should not cook and get all scrambled or poached.
Yeah, these days I still get nervous about that. Don't curdle.
Don't curdle.
That's definitely a technique to learn the hard way.
All right, another way to, make it nice smooth is to take a fine mesh sieve and you strain it. I'm gonna do this over the sink because I tend to get this all over the place. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Fits perfectly. Just the top. These are the smaller ramekins. You can also you can use the larger, more shallow ramekins. That works out fine too. Now, we have to cook this in what's called a bain-marie or a water bath, just so it cooks evenly and it doesn't dry out when it's cooking in the oven, which, by the way, I forgot to mention, we have the beauty of having a lower oven, and that is preheated to 350 as well. And we are going to pour in hot water. And this is hot from the tap. I'm just gonna pour it right here. You want it to come up about halfway on the ramekins. You're gonna put these in the oven, and these will cook for about half an hour, but test it with a sharp knife. You poke it in, and if it comes out clean, it's finished. All right.
Okay, Lisa has her calculator out, so we're
ready.
gonna figure out how much. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. I'll tell you what number.
All right, you tell me what it is, and I'll.
Bread $4, parsnips $3, celery $4, cream $4, eggs $5, garlic $1, the herbs, parsley, sage, and thyme $5.50. The leeks were $4.50. Maple syrup was $5. That can get a little pricey. Watch the maple syrup.
Watch the maple syrup.
The milk was $5. Onions $2.50. Potatoes $3. Shallots $2. Our dried spices $5. Our butternut squash $8.
Okay. What about the turkey?
Turkey. Made turkey is $22.
For 11-pound turkey, that's actually pretty good, and it's all natural turkey.
Yes.
So I'm justifying the over $20
And our
spent.
yams were $5.
Okay.
And the rest of the vegetables about $5 a go.
$93.50.
That's great.
Yes, that's
So
great.
now we can actually do something.
We have
the
like
sausage in here.
$57, $56.50 for.
Okay, so this is Thanksgiving dinner for $100.
Yeah, we did it! Yay! Okay.
So I'm making applesauce, which is one of my most favorite things to make in the autumn. And I'm going to make it for a side for kids, but adults love it too, and they may sneak some, but we'll see later. So apples are really simple to make, and applesauce is really simple to make, and people, I don't think, realize how easy it is. All you do is peel an apple. I'm just using a little paring knife. I've peeled this one. You just cut it into a chunk like that and put it right in. I added about a tablespoon of water with it, and that's it. You leave it alone, let it simmer. When you come back to it, stir every 10 minutes or so. When you come back, it's just gonna be this delicious mush of apples, and it just doesn't need anything else. For Thanksgiving, you might want to add a little cinnamon, nutmeg, something to make it a little more special, but apples have such a great flavor on their own, they don't need a thing. So applesauce is a really easy, quick thing to make anytime. And it's not expensive. I think it was $2.80 for our apples.